Well, welcome back. It's Brian and Paula here, the Horror Tours, and Paul's got a little bit to say about some of his favorite experiences being a horror tour.
Well, I love the decoration. Again, that's why I'm usually going so slow. We've gone to just somebody set up in the yard, or even we have a theme park called Great America, with the Ferris wheels and roller coasters and all that, and they have a Halloween night called
Fright Fest.
Fright Fest that we go to. We've seen all these different things at all these different levels. And some of my favorite stuff, it's actually, I love, and I think I've mentioned this, I love the unique flavors of churches, because when we go to a church that's set up for a pay haunt, they have something almost guaranteed that you're not going to see anywhere else. One of my absolute favorite things, and in this occasion I think we can go ahead and name these places.
Sure.
They might not exist anymore.
Absolutely.
And Brian will remember more than I can about the names, but Brian and I were sitting in a very similar position than what we are right now. We got guided through this church. We're about halfway through, and there's a room with a coffin and some pews set up like a mini church within. And we're looking at this coffin, and they're going to get ready to do a little mini show in there. And while we're looking and we're watching this coffin, and somebody's giving us a little spiel about something going on, all of a sudden, out of nowhere, and I don't know how they did this, but some girl popped up, and Brian and I went to look at each other. And there was nobody there, but when we look at each other, this girl popped up, and she's looking down, holding the bouquet of flowers in like a white wedding dress, looking very ghostly. Yeah. And we don't even know how she got there. We don't know how they did it. It was awesome. It was really good. Yeah. We were like, where did she come from? Did you know that she was there? We didn't know where she came from. I thought Brian knew she was there. Brian thought I knew she was there. No. We didn't know. She just appeared out of nowhere. That was one of the best effects we've ever seen. High scare factor. Good enthusiasm, even though they don't have to say anything to be enthusiastic. And I don't know how they did it, but it was wonderful.
Yeah, that was. I remember that very well. That was an excellent haunt, and it was in a church, as Paul said. That was also the haunt we had where we had to crawl over the maggots.
Oh, the maggots. They had live maggots. Yeah, they were like a glass display case, and you had to crawl over.
Plexiglass maggots.
Yeah,
excellent.
They were real.
Yeah. One of my favorite things. In general, I like when something unexpected happens. For example, one of my favorite things at Scream Scene, which is in Skokie. Scream Scene is a haunt that's run by, let's say, 12 to 14, 15-year-olds. It's at a park district, and we've been going several years to Scream Scene. There are several in that area.
It's usually a bit of a wait in line.
Yes.
But it's usually worth it. This is one we would recommend.
They do manage to change it up every year, and for being run by younger kids, it's pretty good. One of the things they always do at Scream Scene, which I've never seen anywhere else and I really like, is they have a display. This year it was a display of teddy bears. And in the middle of the teddy bears is a guy dressed up in some sort of teddy bear costume. And he blends in so well with the teddy bears that you can't see him.
He's got teddy bears all over him. It's like a teddy bear suit he's wearing.
Yes.
It's full of teddy bears here and there. And he'll just back up into the wall and you can't even tell he's there.
And he jumps out at you. Surprise. Another thing that Scream Scene did a couple of years ago that I thought was great because it was a nice twist on a technique that you see quite often. And that is a series of dummies. In this case, it was a series of bodies laying on the ground with a chair on top of them and a figure in the chair. Now, normally you see setups like this all the time, and one of the things you're going to expect is that that guy in the chair is going to jump out at you. But in this case, it wasn't the guy in the chair. He was fake. What was real was one of the guys who was playing one of the bodies. So he reaches up and grabs at you, which was a surprise. A little twist like that, a little originality. It's something that's very memorable, makes you want to go back.
And sometimes haunts will do things that you don't expect that are so well done and so unique that it gives it that flavor that you just think, wow. And Brian is very familiar with one that he talks about quite frequently. I don't remember the name of the haunt. Brian would probably remember it. But I'll just say one word.
Yeah, let's see, because I'm not remembering it right now, so let's see if this will trigger it.
I'll say one word and he'll know exactly what I'm talking about. Candyman.
Oh, yes.
Tell him about that.
Yes.
That was really cool.
This was a haunt, and I don't believe it's done anymore. I don't recall the name of it right now.
It's a very small haunt, very excellent use of space. It's a pay haunt.
Now, here's an example of something that's very original. We're walking down a corridor, and to the right is a girl looking into a mirror. And in the mirror, she's talking about the Candyman. And in the mirror, the Candyman appears. Okay, so you see him and you're watching the girl, but unbeknownst to you, he is to your left. The Candyman is over here. And they had it set up and angled in such a way that it actually looked like the Candyman was in the room with the girl and appearing in the mirror, but no, he's over here to where you need to go next. So when you turn left, there he is. And
Very
that's
scary.
very effective.
Very well done.
That reminds me of another similar one with Mike Myers that was done, and I've seen this done in a couple of places. One of them is Frightmare in Burbank, which is a great pay haunt, but I've also seen it done in sort of volunteer pay haunts as well with Mike Myers. And this one was excellent though. I've seen it done with different characters. This particular one was, normally Mike Myers will jump out at you, okay, which you see a lot in different haunts, but this one, you already knew he was there. There was this long dark corridor with strobe lights and the Halloween music playing, and at the end of the corridor, he was already there before you started moving in. So you knew that that's what you were up against when he got down there. And it was one of those things where you blink and you miss it. You look once, there he is. You look again, he's gone. You don't know where he's at. So you've got that whole fear factor walking down that corridor because you already know what's waiting for you.
Some of these places make such effective use of lighting that kind of stuff can happen. They can do such a good job.
That reminds me of one, actually I don't believe you were at this one, Paul, but I was at this one. This was the one in Shanahan, Illinois. Shanahan, Illinois, the Abyss Haunted House, which is actually in a barn that is said to be haunted. The barn is from the 1800s, the late 1800s, and it's actually said to be actually haunted. Abyss Haunted House in Shanahan. There's a long wait for this one, so if you want to go, and you want to go on a weekend, make it a Sunday and make it when they first open because there is a long line for this one. And it's worth it. It's about a 45-minute haunt. This year the price went up to $25, but it's normally about $17, $18. But even at $25, it may be worth it for you to experience it one time. One of the techniques that they use in here is you walk into a corridor and you're hit with a strobe. And the strobe flashes on and off and it blinds you for 1 second. The first time you walk in the corridor, there's a series of doors on the left and there's nobody in there. The strobe hits you, you're blinded. When you open up your eyes again, there's a guy at the end of the corridor. And of course the strobe hits again, the guy's gone. Yeah, sort of like that. The next thing you know, flash, the strobe hits again, he comes out of the door that's right in front of you and there he is with an axe in his hand.
That does sound scary.
And this was a guy dressed like a clown, a homicidal clown. And there's nothing scarier than a homicidal clown. I mean, just think John Wayne Gacy. Homicidal clown. In any case, yes, this was one of my favorite haunts just for that technique. That's something that makes or breaks a haunt for me.